drop you guys a gem. And, you know, I never mentioned that one before. Always look at the kind of men she has dated, not just the amount of number. The number you're never going to find out.
Never
like
find
you
out.
said. Like me, I say the reason to never ask is because 1, they don't like it. So what's the point of even getting there? 2, she's not going to tell you the truth. And 3, you can kind of pick up on traits, I think, a lot of times, right? If she's a hoe or not. You're going to be able to see through, 1, her social media, little things like her phone, the way she's like...
Because let me ask you this. Say if you got a chance to... Say if you got 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
One girl, you see all the dudes she had sex with, and they all was dudes that was like a 40-year-old virgin type.
Yeah.
And then you see another girl you see who she had sex with, and it's a bunch of like goons.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna feel? You gonna see the dude, that girl who you gonna like, yeah, you got bodies, but man, come here. Like, so it's real nuance to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not as cut, because if we want to keep it cut and dry, then we all just fuck. And I don't believe that. I think that we got some setbacks, but if we're gonna overcome it, we gotta admit where we're at. We can't talk about, oh, the food is fucked up, the educational system's fucked up, the parenting's fucked up. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So guess what it produced? Fucked up people. So you think you're gonna go straight to this perfection way of life overnight?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna deal with things accordingly and take baby steps, man.
Yeah.
Brick by brick.
Natureholics, welcome back. Today we have another interview. Today we have Eric, aka Illasophical.
What's going on? What's
going on, bro?
Pleasure to be here, bro. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to host you, man. And you're from...
Originally from New Jersey. Now I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And how's LA treating you?
I love LA, you know what I'm saying? I love California, period. Like, you know, I see why y'all all want to live out here. It's such a vibe, you know, the weather. You know, you got the mountains, you got the sea. It's just a feeling. It's just real euphoric out here. I like it.
I hear you. Is there any chance of you...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there any chance of you moving to the West Coast?
I don't know if I could afford it, but you know what I'm saying? I could definitely see myself living out here, but it's definitely crazy expensive. Yeah. So, you know, I feel like you really got to have some things going on.
It needs to make sense.
Yeah, it got to make sense economically. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to come out here on a pipe dream, you know what I'm saying? Not at my age, you know.
I hear that, man. And that's what I tell people. People think LA's like all like Mary and like so many opportunities. And I say, yeah, there is a lot of opportunities out here, but everything costs so much out here. You already seen like supermarkets, gas prices. But I say to make it as a content creator in the creative space, I think it's the best place to be. So. Yeah,
they say that. And they also say like Atlanta, Houston as well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But LA, I think anytime you're doing something with the media, yes, you know, it's California. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, how did you come up with your name, Illasophical?
The funny thing is, I got the name from rapping, but it wasn't that. Like my name was Illa. Everybody called me Illa in the hood, like E Illa. That was my rap name.
Yeah.
So at the time when Instagram was popping, I don't know if y'all remember, people just had these clever little names. So I was always an avid reader. I was always a thinker. I always had like a philosophical way of speaking and looking at things.
Mindset.
So it was just an Instagram name. This was not something I was trying to push as some type of name. It's just what I call my Instagram, like Illasophical. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just that.
Yeah.
But when I went viral and since I was named my Instagram, people just thought that's my name. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like no one calls me that in reality.
Yeah.
Everybody just called me Illa. It was just an Instagram name, but I guess it just stuck, and I guess, you know, since people recognize that, but everybody in my real life just call me Illa. Like, you know
I like the name, man, and it definitely stands out. And I did check out some of your music, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think living in LA, we have a lot of people who say they're musicians, rappers. I was very impressed.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even know you messed with the music.
Yeah, I listened to 10 Toes Down.
Oh, okay, and that's light.
Yeah, and that was light. And that, honestly, like, me and my cousin were like, oh shit, he can rap. He's hard. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you have talent outside just the red pill space.
That's really like my thing. Like that's the like my first love, like as far as what I thought would take me to talking to people. It was really rap. So it's just ironic that it's really just talking, but I still feel like it's still the same kind of thing, because you're still speaking, you're still exchanging ideas, you're still, you know what I'm saying, still, you know, exactly, conveying messages. So it's like, it's still the same thing. But I think if people really, I tell people all the time, like, I rap, they be like, yeah, it was like, no, for real, bro, like, I really can rap, like, you know what I'm saying? So they don't even know. So I appreciate you saying that, because I be saying it, and people think I'm just, because everybody can do everything now.
Bro,
but now I really get busy.
Like, forget the girls we have on the show, because, you know, girls claim to do everything, and, you know, but even the guys, a lot of guys here in LA, they're like, yeah, what do you, I say to them, what do you do? They say, yeah, bro, I'll rap. I listen to their rap, and it's garbage, man. Like, I'm just being honest. A lot of people here in LA who are trying to make it, they can't rap. And for me, music's a thing where, like, you know, it's kind of a make or break. Would you agree? Like, music's a hard industry to, like.
Absolutely.
You know.
But you got to understand this. One thing about y'all over there in Europe, y'all still have an appreciation for the standard sounds. That has been devalued over here. So that's why Wu-Tang can go to Europe and sell out. That's why Nas can go over there, and they, not saying they can't hear, they can, but they got to be like a specialist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't appreciate the standard music. So when someone from overseas, y'all standard is Tupac, Biggie. It's not this stuff we listen to now. So y'all can recognize the real shit. Like even now, it's one of my favorite artists I'm listening to now is in France. His name is, I don't know if you heard of him, it's called Dabble or something like that. Oh. Bruh, he's like a producer, like he got like this Quincy Jones type of funk sound. Yeah. And it's like crazy, you know what I'm saying? But he's out of France.
French rap's hard. Like, I don't know if you heard of La Creme.
He just produced. He don't rap. He just like he's like a Quincy Jones. But if you like that classic funk sound, like it's like a 2025 funk, and it's like y'all appreciate our classic sounds while we're trying to tap into this dumbed down type of rap. And
mumble rap.
I don't get it.
And
bro.
Honestly, like, how old are you, Ella, if you don't?
I'm 39.
39. So I'm 34. Going on to 35. So for us, like you said, hip hop was very different for me. Like, you know, Tupac for me is the GOAT. And even that after Tupac, people like 50 Cent, Styles P, Dipset and D-Block, like that was original proper hip hop. And these days I listen to rap and I'm like, what the fuck has it got to, you know? I'm not saying everyone's trash, but there's a lot of trash out there, right?
Because it stopped being about, y'all can hear me in the mic, I'm good?
Yeah, you're good.
It stopped being about content and about first, have you really did the street shit?
Yeah.
See, once we took it away from lyrics, we opened the door for people who can't rap that well, but guess what they do? They really did get in the street. Yeah. So it's like, if that's my claim to fame, I don't got to be nice. I just got to really be in the street. So that changed the whole dynamic of what's hot, it's just anybody can have a record, but everybody can't spit like Nas spit. Yeah. So they lowered the bar to the point where now listen to these young cats, it's like they rap off beat on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like anti-skill is the new thing. It's just, it's hella weird over here. Like, it's just mad weird.
The youngsters, eh? And it's funny because they, a lot of, like, even my friends, even some of the boys here, like, they'll turn around and say, nah, Tupac's no way to go, not even top 5. And it's like, you know, it's just that the youngsters have a different...
It's a different vibration.
Different vibration. So, when and how did you become Red Pill? So you said you started off with the music. You said you was kind of always into, like, the truth, right?
Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? Being born and raised in a church made me, I like to say, spiritually sensitive. It made me understand that there is something else than just the physical life. It may not be from this perspective. You may not believe in every aspect of the Bible or religion, but it did make me aware of another side of life. Yeah. So from that, certain books came my way, certain people came my way that just showed me that there was more. And it's like, it's literally a rabbit hole. Like, you just go deeper and deeper and deeper. And this happened at like a young age. I would say like 18, 19, I really woke up and see what time. I've been seeing the time was with the girls, but the difference between just looking at the surface, I always want to know why. Yeah. Like, I think a lot of people just settle for what happened now. And I'm more the question, like, how did we get here? Like, what situations took place? Because they always say, oh, we came from greatness and kings and queens. It's like, but who, where, when, how, what? Yeah. So I wanted to know what happened. Yeah. So once I understood what happened, it took the emotion out of analysis, because yeah, you goofy, but I know why you goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trouble, but I know why. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a different, not saying you
reasoning.
excuse shit. It's a difference between an excuse and a reason. You know what I'm saying? That's why people say you being reasonable. Like, people don't understand the power. I'm a big word person. Now, people use words too loosely. Like, to be reasonable is to understand someone's reason.
Yeah.
People, you're making excuses. No, you're not. You're being unreasonable. I'm not making excuses. I'm giving you the reason. So you have to be reasonable to understand. Like, people just be talking, bro. And the more I do content, the more I see, like, yo, you just need a camera and a Wi-Fi connection. And people just say, you can curse on here?
Yeah, you can say what you want.
People could just be saying whatever the fuck they think about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I was on a podcast one time with some black men, and they be asking questions, because everybody all these fucking questions. This is what pisses me off about people. Everybody got a million questions.
Yeah.
Everybody got questions, but they don't want no answers, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, they talking about stuff. I'm like, bro, I started talking about history and certain historical events that are not, I wouldn't say public, was not mainstream in thinking, like, as far as this way of thought, as far as how we got here. And I was like, yo, I got some book references. And he was like, yo, I'm trying to understand it. Like, grown man, I don't see what's the point of learning your history. I don't see the point of knowing where you come from. Like, what's the value in that? And he literally asked me that on the platform with a bunch of grown black men. And it's like, and some of them even thought that was funny, that I had the nerve to say, hey, here's a book to refer, instead of just running my mouth, I'm gonna cite my source. So not only can you learn for yourself, guess what you can do? You could check me if I'm wrong. Because people just get online and say whatever the fuck they want to say. And they can't give you nothing where they get their information from. I literally pull out a book, like, I got it from this book, check out this book. And cats be turned off from that, and that shit was weird to me.
Yeah, because I think what that does as well, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me, is when they don't want to look at that and get into the deeper reasoning behind it, they don't want to take the accountability. Do you get what I'm saying? And actually face up to it, because later on we're going to go on to Rumble, guys, but you said the reasoning to why people are the way they are, and talking about, like, I'm guessing you're talking about the black community, talking about how they were kings and queens, and how did you end up to the opposite place. So we're going to go deeper into that on Rumble, because I definitely want to pick at your brain, because
absolutely,
I definitely have in my head who I think changed everything up in society, but yeah, we can't talk about that right now on YouTube. But we want to definitely get on to knowing you better. So you said you was raised in a church, but at one stage you did go Muslim, correct?
Yes, and the reason why I went that route is because I'm a person that feels like, I thought it was my obligation to do so, because when I studied, from what I studied, most of our ancestors was Muslim. Yeah, that's a fact. Like, a lot of black people, they don't want to deal with it. You know, they were very Christianized, and that's fine. But when you take your emotion out of it, when you take out what grandma said, what grandpa said, the people that you descend from directly, I would say 70 to 80% were, most of the time, were Islamic. That's just a historical fact, you know what I'm saying? So to see us in the future, that's most of our people to be Christian, you know, that's your prerogative. I'm not knocking it, it's just an understanding of how things transpired. To see us go from Muslim in large amounts to be the faith of your antagonist, to say the least, it's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, because that's just not the faith of your people. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even an antagonistic situation from the Muslim perspective, because of what people don't understand. The Muslims also helped the Jews and Christians build their own houses of worship. So they never made anybody convert to anything. Like, it wasn't just about praying, and not saying it's not about that, but it wasn't just about, I believe in Jesus versus you believe in Allah versus you believe in Ali Salah. Like, it's not about that. Islam brought a science to Europe and science to the world. How, you know, it brought reading, it brought math, it brought irrigation, it brought, you know, running water, how to, you know, it brought civilization principles. They called infrastructure. They called the Moors, the Muslims, the custodians of Egyptian knowledge. The knowledge of Egypt was ultimately civilization. You know what I'm saying? So when they came to America, if you're going to use people to build a new system, you have to use the same people that built the last one. People think that they got people that were just, not to knock people that's, you know, bushmen and tribesmen, because there's a high science to that too, but it's still not civilization. Civilized and non-civilized doesn't mean you're bad. Like, the people that live amongst the land, that's not necessarily civilized, but it's still a culture. Yeah, within themselves. Civilization is something that has to include everybody in a more general way. The masters of that or the ancient African, the Moor, the Kemetic man. Like these are just facts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when they wanted to build a new civilization, they had to get the people that built the last one. That's why the slaves had all these skills prior to coming to America. They didn't learn it there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They learned it. They already came with those skills. They already understood astronomy. That's why they was able to read the sky. How did they know that if they were just unlearned savages out the bushes?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people really don't study history. They don't understand. All they know is God created the heaven and earth. Jesus died. Fast forward later, we was kings and queens. Slavery happened. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. Like in rap. Somewhere in the middle of that. That's how people really be analyzing black history and be talking to you with hella fervor and don't know what the fuck they be talking about. And be dead ass serious. College educated, Greek, I don't care what the fuck it is. They don't know what they be talking about, or they're intentionally lying to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't study for yourself, you really not gonna know. It's not a cult of personality. It's not about because Illa said so. Don't listen to shit I say. Look that shit up. Do your homework. Do your due diligence on what events transpired prior to what you call the slave trade, and you'll see something else. You'll see stuff like the Barbary Wars, the Punic Wars. See, the problem with our people, and I don't mean to be long-winded, but the problem with our people is they look for the word black in history and then be like, I don't know, it's nothing. Phoenician, that's you. It's a lot of different words that describe your phenotype. If you keep looking for the word black, you're going to get lost. You got to understand that it's degrees to who you are, and there's different time frames that called you different words, but it's the same people. But you only know that through study. So you know what I'm saying? They say you want to keep something from you, keep it in a book. They wasn't playing about that shit.
Honestly, and that's a lot of what I say to you guys. Don't take things from me. You know, I give a lot of information out, but go study it yourself. Go do your research, but don't just type it in on Google and just take in whatever, you know. I'm not even going to say the certain type of people who control our system are just going to give you, but you got to understand everything we've been taught from even ancient civilizations that was flourishing our society. We've been untaught that, and we've been taught bullshit instead now. And that's why you say you can't find things unless you go research it yourself deeper into books. Do you get what I'm saying? Which
Absolutely.
A lot of these books are hidden, right?
They're not hidden. They
Harder to find, I'd say, no?
Man, most of them books is on Amazon. I ain't going in front. Like, they're not hard to find. It's just that you gotta want to find them. Like one thing that this system has done to our people. When I say our people, I just mean anybody that's in a state of ignorance. So of course, because I'm a part of the black diaspora in America, I speak for them. But it's mad people in ignorance of all races. The thing that they did to the system to people is they corrupted so many good things that people threw the baby out with the bathwater. So since you was introduced to spirituality in the corrupt way, you don't deal with spirituality. Since you was introduced to information or books with misinformation, you think books is irrelevant. And it's like they turned people off from structured thinking. And that's the most dangerous thing they did. Any kind of structured thought, people are like, oh no, that's that bullshit. You trying to trap me? It's like now you just a bunch of skeptics. And now you're not dealing with any information. You need to rightfully divide the word of truth. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says, study to show thyself approved. It says our people are destroyed not for the lack of belief, not for the lack of fasting or prayer or worship. It said for the lack of knowledge. So if you're in a place where you're just resistant to information, that's just an ignorant state. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to know, you don't know it's bullshit unless you read it. You have to read it, cross-reference it, read it with another book. It's like when I look at like, you watch movies like Indiana Jones or certain movies where they're trying to find some ancient relic. They got to go find some guy that's super duper fucking wealthy. He understands what his constituents don't, and he's willing to invest in finding this because he's very knowledgeable. But they always got a big ass library. To me, knowledge is fly. There ain't nothing corny or nerdy or geeky about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance is goofy.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Knowledge is like, even like how many people, I know many people who are very successful, multi-millionaires, close to billionaires, and you know, they're not flourishing in a lot of sectors of their life because they think it's all about just finances and no knowledge. And when we say knowledge, is in everything, to know where your ancestors come from, to learn about humanity, to learn about nutrition. Nutrition is one of the main things that we've come away from so much. So
that's why we can't even process the information, right? Because what we putting in us. Right, and I'm guilty of it. I don't eat crazy good all the time, but I have an appreciation for it. You know what I mean? I can't eat no meat for a week and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people think eating right is just eating salads all the time. No, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of eating vegan today is a lot more enjoyable than it was how it was sold to us when I was younger.
Correct. And what I'd say about the vegan movement as well is like be careful, because even in the vegan community and industry, there's a lot of bullshit like Beyond Meats, Impossible Meats, where I tell people you're better off eating real meat than that. I push people towards the alkaline movement more than anything.
Strictly no meat at all?
Look, a lot of people who are alkaline, there's a few people who eat meat, but what they will do, they'll eat like wild fish, bison, elk, things that are more gamey and things that are processed through the body a lot quicker. If you go research cows, chickens, they're hybrid meats, they're made by man. So yeah, like cows were bred for milk. Chickens, the original chicken, if you saw what an original chicken looked like compared to now, it looks completely different. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even think
crazy.
It's a chicken. So, but yeah, man. How is North Carolina, by the way?
I work so much, but it's an up and coming city. You know what I'm saying? It's growing, kind of like an Atlanta type of vibe. But it's still the South. It's still the Bible Belt. But it's growing. It's growing from the downtown. Now, a lot of people moving there, so I think the diversity is starting to take its shape.
Yeah, I think it got voted one of the most up and coming.
Yeah, it's a very walkable downtown area. Like you know, I mean, it's a real like a city you could walk through. At least the downtown. I live uptown. Uptown area is like, you know, you can literally walk all through it. It's like when the weather's nice, it's a nice little vibe.
Nice, man. Definitely got to come out there. And then, how was your upbringing, bro?
My upbringing it had its ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy. You know what I mean? It was rough. Like it's Newark, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like crack era. You know what I'm saying? I'm born in '85, so growing up in the '90s, it was very unique. You know, I had a unique inception. So I had I had a certain expectation over my life just based on how I was born. Like my mother couldn't have kids according to the doctor, because she used to be, you know, on drugs, and they said her womb was corrupted. My father used to, you know, mess around too, you know, so they got off of that, especially her, and got into religion. So one thing about religion, it sparks something in you that you ain't know you had.
Yeah.
So you'll think it's like the placebo effect. So you'll think it's something greater, but it's you. You know, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the word. That's in the Bible. So it's always coming out of you. You just need certain avatars or concepts to bring it out. But it's always there. So
I think we have godly abilities as humans.
I mean,
right?
we got to. Jesus told Peter to walk on water just like him, and Peter said, I can't do it. Then he did it. And then he started doubting, and then he dropped. But he was doing the same thing Jesus was doing. So I don't know what book they read, but when I be seeing it, I see things from a whole different way than the average person sees it. But so basically, long story short, my mother couldn't have children. The pastor said, hey, you can have children. Somebody told me, God told me that the doctor said you can't have a child, but you going to have one. Now, knowing how messy the church is, he could have heard that through the grapevine, through somebody in the crowd, but she believed it.
Yeah.
It sparked her to believe, and she got pregnant. Yeah. So when I was born, they were like, oh, that's the miracle baby. So it was like an expectation on who I am and what I could be, but there was no guidance on how to be anything, but people thought that I always had this certain expectation to do right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always looked at things differently as a young child, and I realized really early, being nice and being naive and being thoughtful and living in the fruits of the spirit will get you killed out here. Not saying you got to be a bad person, but it's like you have to have your wits about you.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with things accordingly. But growing up like that, I was just always somebody that went against the grain. I never was, even in the trap, in the trenches, I always spoke just like how I'm speaking now.
Yeah.
So I got respect in those places because they can't say I switched up.
Yeah.
I was always this way. You know what I'm saying?
I honestly, it's the same way for me. Like they used to say, bro, like you're too much into the government and shit. I used to be like, bro, don't you care? Like, you know, this is the world we're living in. This affects us. So yeah, man. And like you said, being naive from a concrete jungle place is you're gonna get eaten up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So you've never been to London before, I'm guessing, right?
Nah, I got my passport though, but I haven't been overseas yet.
Yeah. All right, cool. And comparisons to LA, what do you reckon? North Carolina and Jersey, nothing really right? Very
In
different.
what ways?
Like landscape, living lifestyle, people, culture.
Jersey is, it's typical East Coast city. You know what I'm saying? A lot of hard edges. It's cold. You know, it's the downtown structure, and then you got your like suburban areas. It's really has a generic, typical East Coast city look. But one thing I will say about Jersey, well, at least Essex County where I'm from, it has the structure of a major city, but the spirit of Newark is so tough, it's so hard that I think investors are hesitant to bring money there. I think it's slowly happening because a lot of big people from Essex County. SZA is from Essex County. Shaq is from Essex County. Whitney Houston from Essex County. Queen Latifah from Essex County. Michael B. Jordan is from Essex County. Yeah. Frank Sinatra from Essex County. Like a lot of dope, ill people from this area. It's a hard area. Like Newark is the biggest city in New Jersey, and it's built to be like it has real rolling hills and wide streets. Like it's like DC, for example. DC is not naturally built for major city infrastructure. They just making it that way. Yeah. They just cramming it. Newark, New Jersey is built naturally to be a major city. The way the streets are built, they can have high rises for miles. Like it's just, if you ever go to Newark, if you just look past the grime, just look at that shit, you're gonna be like, this city should be a major city. Yeah. Mad, big, beautiful parks. It's right off the water right there. Like it's just. Newark is like, I know they call St. Louis the show me state, but I promise you, Newark is one of them places where they just want to show you that we ain't the place to play with. They don't care about none of that other shit. They just want to make an example.
It was the biggest shock to me. Like, I went to play a tournament in Hamburg, which is like in the middle of Jersey, like, you know, suburban area.
Okay.
Like, and then I got into New York, and I had all my alkaline friends were like, Dr. Sebi's son, Victor, has a shop in Newark. Mm-hmm. So that's the first place I went to go get all my alkaline fruits and vegetables. I'm sitting there with my rollie on, driving through. I'm like, yeah, bro, I didn't hear too much about Jersey. I'm looking around. I'm like, bro, this is starting to look like fucking London, or like, this is the hood. Like, I knew I was in the hood. And yeah, I was in and out, went and got my vegetables, my fruits, and just kicked out. But it was way more rougher than New York, for example. Like in New York, I didn't go too many places, but I went to Brooklyn, for example. But Brooklyn was nice. You know, compared to New York was rough, man.
Newark is rough.
It's rough. Yeah.
Newark is rough, and it's been that way. And if you're not from up there, you would think we exaggerating. We're not exaggerating. They did a poll one time, I want to say somewhere between 2009 and 2015 for the Travelers Channel. For the most unfriendliest cities in the world. Pakistan was number 2 for obvious reason. Yeah. Newark was number 1.
Fucking, that's crazy, right?
It's a true story. Newark
trenches.
It's crazy.
So construction manager, when did you get into construction?
Well, I used to work with children a lot. I worked in education, and there's a lot of politics with it. And it just said, you know what, let me just do something for the money. Yeah. So I went and got my HVAC license, and I got hired with a company that, because I had the license, they hired me just that I had some type of basic mechanical understanding. Yeah. So ironically, even though I have my HVAC license, I never actually worked on them because when I was applying, they were saying you don't have enough experience. So the job that hired me for it, we wasn't necessarily working on them. Yeah. That was what they used to justify them hiring me. Okay. So I ended up just working as a field installer for a smart tech company. Then eventually I became a manager in that. And then after that, I just started working in like tech and installation fields. And I just happened to be with one that does fiber installation. So I went from the installation side to the actually fiber side of construction outside. So it was just a promotion in the company. But I got into this type of work after working with children, for real.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, construction is a massive industry. Like there's a few red pill guys from the construction industry. Yeah. I know definitely. Jay Waller does construction. He actually even got into I'm in the cannabis space, so there's a lot of every state's popping up legal now. So yeah. Within the cannabis industry, there's a lot of construction going on, with indoor. I don't know if you're aware, big warehouses that they grow in, obviously cost a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely, I could imagine.
Is North Carolina legal or illegal for cannabis?
No, it's a lot of Delta 8. Okay. Type of things going on out there, but it's not fully legal. I think in one city it's medicinal, somewhere in the mountains this actually is, but they figuring it out. Yeah. It's slow. They slow with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They just got sports betting in March of this year, so I think it's coming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The fact they got these Delta 8 spots, I'm sure it's leaning, but it's the Bible Belt. It's real
The
red.
South is always going to take longer than the rest.
Yeah.
Even I think Florida literally only now is going to go medicinal. Well, it's medicinal, but it's going to start going recreational in Florida, from what I've heard. So, and I know that's going to be a bit. You ever gone to Florida before?
Yeah, I've been to Florida.
You like it?
I haven't been to the hot spots. I went to like Universal Studios when I was little, and I went to Panama City.
Okay.
What is it? Is it called that?
Yeah,
down
Panama
there?
City.
Yeah, Panama City down there for work. That's about it.
Okay, cool. No Miami yet.
No Miami, no Tampa yet. I heard it's nice though.
Yeah, it's nice. I like Tampa, like naturally beautiful, and Miami, Miami's lit. So, all right, cool, man. And what hobbies and interests do you have outside work and the Red content space?
I like to read. I'm into music, like learning new music. I like to cook, surprisingly. I just try to stay out the way, man. I work so much that I like to just relax and just reflect when I get time off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really just work these days. But music is really something I'm really into. Like, that's something I really like. Not just making it, but listening to it. Like, I'm really a fan of music. Hearing about new music is really like a big thing for me.
If I had to ask you your top 3 rappers of all time, who would you say?
Nas. Damn, that's hard. Like my all-time or just what I listen to, it's hard. But Nas, Pac, and Jay.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's people that got better songs than them and all that. But I think just overall bodies of work, I think I listen to those 3. The only reason I think Big is better than Jay, but Jay just got more music. I just think overall bodies of work, those 3 guys got like the most that I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's mad dope ass dudes.
Yeah. It's funny, we were talking actually before, we were talking about Jay-Z, where does he rank amongst the top 10 and stuff? Because
he's up there.
You heard the news with Jay-Z, right?
I mean, now I have a love-hate relationship with Jay. Like I like Jay musically, but I think people give him a lot of passes as far as things. I don't know about this new situation because it's like it'd be hard-fetched for me to realize. It'd be hard for me to see that people dealing with somebody that's that young. But as far as just business dealings and things like that, I always thought sometimes Jay just came off a little selfish. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I feel like somebody as big as Jay could sometimes come off a little selfish, but I think we put too much emphasis on who these people are and not just honor the music. I think a lot of love Jay get is from his, the money he makes as opposed to, I'm a fan of his music, you know what I'm saying? And there's people that make better music than him, but a lot of credit he gets is for the money he get. And I think they just automatically put him over people just for that. But the real Jay music, they don't even like it like that. They be thinking his best album is Black Album or something. It's like, no, his best album is probably Reasonable Doubt. His earlier stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what
we were saying before. His earlier stuff was definitely better. Yeah. And then do you smoke? You smoke, obviously. Drink or not really?
Not really socially. You know what I mean? But not really.
Okay. Play any sports?
Currently, no. But when I was younger, I used to love to play basketball. That was my first love. I love basketball, but I haven't played sports in a while. But I like basketball. That's my first love.
I would have guessed that.
I used to love ball.
Were you like 6'5"?
But I was into But the funny thing is, when I started when I got that tall, I wasn't interested in it no more.
Oh shit!
I was more into like music, street culture, fashion, and girls.
Yeah.
I didn't care about. I didn't see myself because I never really played with. I never played organized. I always just play in the street. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I was good, but I didn't have the confidence to. Well, I needed somebody to push me. Like I needed. Some people don't need that. Some people just like self-motivated. When it came to that, I needed somebody to be like, "Yo, you could play." So I could have, but I got more into music. That's when I really found my voice is rapping. Yeah. Like I was like the best at that. So it's like I was nice. I was good enough. I had coaching. I could have at least went to school. I would say that. I ain't gonna say NBA, but I definitely could have went to school and got a free ride if I really took it serious and had coaching and played instead of just playing in the street and picking it up naturally. If I had a structure, definitely, because I was naturally athletic. I was good at playing football and basketball. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, it just was my thing. But music, rap is when I really that's what I was crafted and honed in on that, really made that my thing. I'm really for real with that pen.
Yeah. Makes sense, man. And like even like going back to what you said, structure to be an athlete. I think, especially if you come from the hood, if you come from poor backgrounds, you need like a parent to be on top of you with structure. Like even if we look at like NBA players, especially me being from England, all the soccer players who make it from the hood, they have their father there and he's disciplining them. Because when you're not disciplined and you need money, or you know there's females around, there's crime to do, it's very hard to keep structured and stay on the course to become an athlete, man.
Yes, especially in that environment.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have an NBA team you support or nah?
I was a Bulls fan. I was a Michael Jordan fan. So I would say by proxy, I like the Bulls. But I don't really watch NBA. It just I watch it after the All-Star game. I'm more of an NFL football fan for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a big football fan.
Okay. Who's your football team?
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh shit, that's is Austin here? Yeah? Come on, yeah, that's Austin's team as well.
Yes, unfortunately. I'm the real Cowboy fan. I know we ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, this guy's an optimist. He made me a Spurs San Antonio fan, and he keeps telling me the same about San Antonio Spurs. Like, yeah, we're gonna become good. I've been waiting for a long time.
I hate to say it, but Dallas is never gonna win another Super Bowl ring. You know, that's possible, but his family's still gonna own it. But the thing is, you think they not gonna do it differently? Yeah, as long as Jerry says it's not going to run, because it's like the Dallas Cowboys are not a football team. They're a football attraction. Because you got a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl since 95, 96 and makes more money than any sports team in the world. So the average Cowboy player thinks he's already a champ.
Yeah.
It's hard to tone, you know what I mean? And they could just go to Jerry, so you can't attract a real coach. Yeah. Because the coach got to feel like he the last stop for everything. But if you know you got Jerry Jones, you can just go to Jerry for any issues. The coach is undermined, so we're never going to have a real football team because we're not going to have a real football coach. It's the Dallas Cowboys show.
Yeah, and it sounds like your players don't have enough hunger, because when you're making more money than champions, and
you're a Cowboy, everybody love you. So soon as you become a Dallas Cowboy, you're a Super Bowl champion by proxy, like, you know, because you just a Cowboy. At least that's what they think. You can tell by how they play. It's a mess, man. All
right, man. We're gonna get more into the females now. So, how was your experience on whatever you've been on it? Was it your second time?
Second time. Yeah.
That's how we saw you, and bro, we thought like, you know, I have a lot of in common of what you say, but the way you spoke was elite. I think you was.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Definitely a great addition to the show, man.
Oh, thank you.
How was your experiences on it?
Whatever is interesting, you know what I'm saying? It's a very interesting show. I see that it's trying to really test the parameters of women's logic and really try to get to the root of why they think, how they think, and is it really some logic there, or is it really just a hive mentality coming to play? And I think a lot of times you see it's just some girls literally just look over and say what she said. It's like
following mentality.
There is no thoughts there. It's just automation, and he has a way of exposing that with those questions. So yeah.
Props to him, man. And how did you guys connect?
Well, when I went viral 2 years ago, he was one of the first people that reached out to me. I never heard of the show. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. And he was like real adamant about me coming up there. But I was new. You know, things were happening so fast around that. I was still working. I was in a transition period. So I didn't have the means to just get up and just go. And I felt like I didn't see I wanted to go, but I was so caught up in just trying to survive and trying to focus on what's in front of me. So it's like, man, I don't know. I would love to go, but I got to work. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to I just started a new job. I don't want to just take off like that. Things is not, it's like you want to be optimistic, because people say, you know, you got to take risk in life, and that's true. But when you come up a certain way, you took a lot of L's, it's not like you want to miss opportunity, but you just seen people just lose more often than you seen them win.
So you become more calculated and more cautious.
Yeah, so it's like I jump out there, you know, then what? I still got to go to work. What if I lose my, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have the means, and I felt like I didn't want to do what I had to do to get there. Maybe if it's possible, it'll happen in the future. Yeah. So I would still talk to him here and there. And then I was like, I was going through like a lot of like growing pains in the space I was in, because it's like I realized the spaces that I was invited to, I didn't really fit in with the people in those spaces and how they was talking. It's because it's like I'm relatable, but I'm just different. And a lot of those cats, it's like messy. They try to like make content off of a gotcha moment and just a lot of catty little goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those little, I like to call like the chitlin circuit. And there's some good people in that space, but it's just like, I just wanted more than what they was on. And I felt like every time I spoke, it rubbed somebody the wrong way. And it's like, I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just being myself. And if it don't make sense, it don't make sense. And it was just a lot of weird energy. I don't want to say jealous. When you say that, they think you better than somebody. So I don't know what it is. It was just weird energy, and it wasn't a welcoming energy. And I'm like, I would work with people, and then they'd go behind and make a show about me saying some weird shit. Just funny. It's like, this is
that's strange.
Some WCW type shit.
There's a lot. Me and you, like, we come from a generation where, you know, what you do, even if it's across the internet, there will be consequences once we meet in real life or amongst men, right? And nowadays with the content creating space, it's just like you said, got you moment. Like, they'll invite you on, try and make you say the wrong thing or go down the wrong line and try and get a clip out of you. And
it was a lot of big money talk, a lot of big bank, little bank talk, a lot of calling people, you know, you'll never get into places a lot of ego, a lot of almost like what's the word? Like a caste system, like cause classism. You know what I mean? A lot of that. And it's like, so you mean to tell me in a space where we supposed to be coming from a so-called demographic of people that, for lack of a better word, have some setbacks, we playing that game here? A place where people are coming to try to get understanding, try to get solutions. We playing that game in this conversation? Or y'all fake as hell? Like, I don't want nothing to do with that. So it's like, a lot of cats would try to like just try to belittle your value. So it's just funny how things work out, because I didn't know whatever is big. Whatever's a pretty big show.
Massive platform.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, despite all of that, despite I don't have the biggest following, I'm still able to make. Because I told her, I remember I was talking to one cat. I said, my network is my network. From that viral moment, I've connected with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Some those cars I was able to cash in, some still, in the pipeline. But I was able to reach out to a lot of people. So it's like, regardless of what it looked like on the surface, I have a nice little network of people that we just not in arm's reach. If I live near them, if I go to their city, we gonna work. So I really just put the pressure on. I'm like, yo, just tell me when you need to get that, when you want to do a show. And I said, how about this date? And I even had the means to go. I just stepped out on faith. Like, I just got to get on that show. You know what I mean? I want to see if, you just want to put yourself in a certain situation to see if it's worth it, if it's worth to continue doing this or not. You know what I'm saying? So based on the reaction I got from the show and how people responded, it was very positive. A lot of people in the comments was like, I was surprised that they really was, messing with me like that.
I think you should definitely, like, if I was you, I would even try and get on another platform as well, or create your own platform.
I mean, I do have a platform. I have my own YouTube channel where I do panels, I do interviews. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it as often, but I do it a lot, at least monthly. You know what I'm saying? Or every other month. Because sometimes, life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I do have content up there. I have some interviews with some pretty big people. I don't know if you heard of Young Goldie. I interviewed him. I interviewed him. He been on my show a couple times. Like, not only did I interview him, he came on as just a panelist. Because what I like to do is I try to take people from different worlds and take them out their echo chambers and put them on a panel with a quote unquote red pill dude, a dude from the conscious community, a Goldie, a comedian, a regular chick, a mother of three, and just throw them in there and just
see what happens.
So I had those type of panels. You know what I mean? I have some history. I got shows about history. I got shows about the age gaps. Like, I got a lot of different shows. I try to be diverse.
And where can they find that on YouTube?
On Illasophical Radio on YouTube. Illasophical Radio at Illasophical on Instagram.
Perfect, man. And okay, so women yourself, you into monogamy? Like, not monogamy? What do you think for men?
I think all men are naturally polygamous. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just what it is. We could fight it. You could do whatever you want to do with it. Nature says so. Science says so. Your biological makeup says that you are at best made to be polygamous, at worst equipped to be polygamous. So based on the social dynamic of the world or social construct you live in, they may not allow you to be your natural self, but everything about you says that. With that being said, I think men are capable of monogamy, but women have to realize that that's not his natural instinct. So when he's with you, he's shutting down all his natural reservations just to accommodate you while you are able to fulfill all of your natural self.
True.
But we're not doing that. And it's not ego, it's not draconian and none of that shit. It just is what it is.
Yeah, it's how we're built.
And they know it too, because regardless of what, like even in the pimp game, the fact that women can submit themselves to be a prostitute, the fact that women can be in threesomes, the fact that women can be with a dude who got multiple women, that means it's in them to do. It's just that you live in a world where you can leverage that against a man. And not saying I've been monogamous, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not knocking it, but it's still not a man's nature. I think it's always a fight to do that.
I agree.
It's a constant struggle within himself.
And I think when you fight to do that, because I've been in one relationship ever, and there was times where we was monogamous, times where we wasn't. But at the time where we were monogamous, I wasn't happy. And it's not because like I so badly wanted to go sleep with other women, but like you said, it's like you almost suppress yourself as a man. You don't have as much testosterone out there. You're not looking at other girls. Like, I don't know, man. I think monogamy definitely like suppresses the man's ability to create.
It does to a degree, because what women don't realize is they all agree to polygamy every day in their lives. They just don't agree to it physically. Because polygamy is not just the sex aspect, it's the multiplicity of how a man can deal with the many by natural. Men deal with the many naturally. That's why even in a church setting, oftentimes, and in corrupt churches, it'd be the pastor that end up with the man's wife. Why? Because all these women already committed their mind to this man. So you're already in a polygamous situation, because sister this, sister that, all of y'all are submitting yourself to the man of God.
Yeah.
So that's polygamous. That's why he could easily touch you, because once you got a mind, the body come. So you already performing polygamy every day. All of y'all submit to your boss. All of y'all submit to this one point. So the concept is women are naturally already like that. You just live in a country, and they're raised in a way where they have made women naturally, they have taught women to be against a man's nature. So they're programmed to not be compatible with you, but everything inside of them pulls to you, but they're taught in a way that make them fight it. So they having an inner conflict too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're fighting the truth for themselves versus what they've been brainwashed. And men, it's like we both having inner conflicts with for ourselves.
And a lot of times what women say they're attracted by is far from what they're aroused by. So they'll say, oh, they want a nice, kind man who's emotionally open and all that, and they go for the opposite, right?
That's PR shit. You know what I mean? Women, when women be on code, they understand the PR of women. They have to hold up this social construct. They have a societal contract with society where in public we're going to at least say this stuff.
Yeah.
But you got to be smart enough to know, like, well, look at them. Look at what they're doing. You got women who, and shout out to Chris Brown, because I'm a fan of your music, but I say his name a lot because it's just not him doing nothing wrong, or even the Futures, any of these dudes. These dudes are having their way, as they should. But these women that tell you, I need you to do this. No, you need me to do that because I don't have what those dudes had. If I had what they had, your requirements for me might change. You know what I'm saying? Not to downplay Chris' talent, because Chris is dope as hell. He got talent. He got the look. He got everything that a woman would want, especially in today's time. Chris is gonna cake your girl. You're gonna have to deal with that. You'll be all right. He's gonna get her. But these women, they're jeopardize their relationship for a picture with this man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with women of that mentality, how can you turn around and tell me I need a dude to do this? It's like, you might, but it's hard. You can't expect men to believe that like they once upon a time did.
Yeah.
And the more a man adds to himself, the more fly he get, the more in shape he get, the more he add to his mind, he becomes very exotic. And another thing women don't realize is a lot of women can't intellectually keep up with that type of man, let alone physically. Like, he's adding so much to himself. His palate is so expansive in all manners of his life. You add that to this testosterone, to the fact that he's naturally polygamous, he has his money right. You dealing with a wild animal for real.
Yeah.
That's civilized at the same time. Like, you really don't have no say-so with no power. Your best bet is to be his friend.
Yeah.
And try to understand who he is and accept him for who he is, because what can you really do with that type of man? Like, you can't do nothing
Just
with
follow.
that. That's it.
Yeah. Let him lead and follow. So what do you think about like because within the red pill space, I'd say there's a lot of Christian guys, but there's also tradcon guys, and there's also secular guys. In the tradcon department, they say it's best for the man to be a virgin to meet a virgin woman. What's your take on that? Do you think it's? I think it's detrimental personally, but what do you think?
You think it's detrimental for a man to be a virgin?
Yeah, I think so. Because so me myself, I'd say I grew up being very promiscuous. Growing up in like a concrete jungle, got to know female nature, and now I'm an older man. I can understand, not even just now I'm an older man, but through my journey, I could understand what's a good woman and what's a whore, right? Now, a lot of these Christian guys I see, they'll just say, like, if she's Christian, she can repent and she's fine. But I think you have to go through experience to learn female nature in order to know what kind of female you should stay away from or what kind of female you should gravitate towards. And don't get me wrong, I know there's Christian guys out there that go meet a virgin woman, they're virgin themselves, they marry, they end up happily ever after. But I think there's a lot of Christian guys who they fail in the dating department because of that. They don't have the experience with women. So yeah, what's your take on that?
I mean, that's true. I mean, the problem with a lot of men I find in this space. Can I get some water?
Yeah.
The problem I find with cats in this space is, what do you know? I know what you believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I understand your beliefs. But what do you know from observable reality? Because I'll have a thought. I'll express that thought with feeling. If my immediate reality doesn't contradict my thought and feeling, then that's the truth.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I'm gonna read certain texts, but it's like a lot of these men do not have a concept of reality outside of a book.
Yeah,
it's a book like outside of the Bible, for instance. Yeah. And it's like me. I like this. That's why I like to study actual history, because that's been proven. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta believe it, that means I have to suspend some type of reason to understand. So it's like when dudes can only evaluate life and only evaluate dating and whatever from this book, as if you need this to know not to be a bad person. Like, well, without the Bible, what would people do? Like, that's a great question. So you mean to tell me if we took away religion, you wouldn't know how to behave yourself?
Yeah.
You can't, why can't we use these books to take the best out of everything and just try to be the best people we can be? It doesn't have to be called anything. It could just be called being a human being. Yeah. Why does it have to be called anything? You know what I'm saying? But you're right. Like those guys are very green. But I don't knock anybody that's trying to be pure. I don't knock it. So if you want to be a virgin, I wouldn't. Because to be honest, I wish I waited, because there is a skill you learn from getting women and getting laid, because you got to have something to get that. A lot of dudes don't have sex that often. I realized that in these spaces. The people I know have sex. Yeah. But obviously the dudes that send in the super chats, the guys that's leaving the comments, they ain't really getting girls like that. So it's like they so obsessed with it that they don't realize you missing something, but you're not missing much when you get it too early. Like, it's so fucked up out here that we really think that love and intimacy, that shit is not real. Just because men naturally want more than one woman doesn't mean men are not naturally loving and romantic. They just do it their way. If the average man was allowed to be his natural self, he would love those women. He wouldn't just fuck those women. You know what I'm saying? It would be more to it
100%.
than that. 100%. More so, probably. Because he really wants you to be secure in what's going on.
But check this out. I think that happens more the more women you fuck. Like, for example, when I fucked maybe only 50, 100 girls in my life, I still, I used to think about pussy a lot. Like, my purpose and my craft came before pussy, but I used to still think about it a lot, and I would still want to have lots of casual sex with different types of beautiful women, right? But I think once you get to a certain point when you slept with so many, you're like, this gets a little boring after a while. It's time for me to make 3, maybe 1, whatever you want, whatever you desire, good women to start a family with, create memories with, actually love and pour into her
That's
cup,
a great
like you're
point,
saying,
because even to get to monogamy, he has to go through the halls of polygamy. Because you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna refine your, you know what I'm saying. Don't die out here, but you know what I'm saying. You want to refine. there's a refining process that men have to go through. Women, they're probably just minimized as just the whore phase, but it's not, because a whore doesn't have to do anything but show up.
We need to put work.
I gotta talk to her. I gotta know how to dress. I gotta know how to move. I gotta know how to do a lot of things. I gotta have things just to talk to her.
Yeah.
I might not even give her nothing, but just to talk to her, I gotta have the appearance of certain things just to have a conversation.
Correct.
You don't have to do that. So if you're able to do that often in different cities, different states, you different.
Yeah.
So once you get tired of that, I think a lot of cats be lying. Like, when you got a girl that's really beautiful, bro, and she really love you, man, that shit feel gooder than a motherfucker.
Better than.
And dudes be trying to act like, oh, it's not about love. It's about partnership, and it is. But if you got your shit together, all you really need from her is love.
Love. You don't need
what
partnership.
the fuck do I need from you? If I got the bread, I got this, I got it. You want her to love you, love on your body, love on your, just be a loving person to you. It don't take a lot. So I think this shit just gets so out of control, this red pill shit, fake red pill, because to me, red pill is just, either it's like looking at the table, it's blue pill, understanding how to put the table together, is red pill.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what they be trying to make it. It's just understanding how things transpire. These guys, a lot of cats just, they have certain insecurities. Because we all take L's. I don't get every girl I try to holler at. I don't. But I can live with that. These cats just don't know how to get women. They never did. And they think because they have fiscal success, economic success, that should equate to total submission and control from women. And it doesn't.
No, man.
In America, no, it really doesn't.
We even know broke guys, like, there's loads of broke guys that attract lots of beautiful women. Yeah, can they retain the women? Maybe not long term, but they can still attract them, which shows, like, it's not, a lot of times it's not down to finance. I know some serious tricks, man. I know one guy who makes, like, 7 figures a month, and the only way he can fuck women is buying them a Chanel bag, for example.
The more you got, that's another thing.
I'm saying? So,
those the guys that mess the game up.
Oh, they mess the game up completely.
It's the guys with the money, because they show. I'm seeing these athletes, like, I don't know. I just grew up from that era where we all knew how to run our mouth. Like, that's just what it was. Like, you run your mouth and you get her. That was always the go-to. It's the mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? And the mood and the energy. These dudes just be tricking, and it's fucking up the game, because it's expecting women. They're expecting to get just stuff from the beginning.
For free.
One.
For nothing.
The most dangerous thing is you're devaluing the position of power. You're making it a weakness. You got the leverage. You ain't got to give her shit. Yeah. You got it all. She has to show you why you should incorporate her in it. If I got the house, the car, the jewelry, you think you got to give her something? If she say, yo, I don't talk to you, you get a Chanel bag, then don't talk to me.
Yeah.
What is she gonna do?
Nothing. And you think women can't read up on that? Women can read up on it straight away. Like, if you're gonna sit there and you're just gonna be giving to her and trying to impress her, then she's clearly gonna think she's above you. And when women date men that they think they're above, they start to treat you like a cunt. And
that's why you got the average chick with a decent body and a following on Instagram thinking that she has the cachet of a fucking Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
It's because of these tricks.
Yeah.
They put these little hoes on a pedestal, and now an OnlyFans model think because I made $10 million this year, I have the same social clout as a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Because I make his money. But you didn't go through what he went through to get his money. You laid on your back and showed your ass.
And men don't respect that.
And then on the flip side, they always want to talk about, because especially on the whatever, and I'm going to say this, especially on the whatever podcast, how the girls always talking about essaying and all of that. But OnlyFans feeds a certain type of man who has these weird ass mindsets.
Fantasies,
so you're feeding these monsters that you're complaining about. So what are you talking about?
Well, even Kuhn's connected to like trafficking, like human trafficking, and like all these girls, they come out talking about essay this, essay that. Bruv, you are like you're promoting it yourself. You're into porn. Porn is connected to human trafficking and child trafficking. It's like, bro, it's insane, man. But yeah, that's why it's good to have platforms like the whatever, like FNF, to show and expose a lot of what's going on in the dating scene, And Yeah, man. Like we said as well, another good point what you said as well is athletes. Even nowadays, like Illa said, back in the day, a lot of getting women was, yeah, sure, your status, how popular you was in school or your social circle, but most of it was down to what you were saying to the woman. And these days, I even see like athletes and like people, even like Drake. I saw like Drake sliding in like a girl's DM and like his game was like terrible. And I was like, bro, you don't have no game. And I'm like, bro, like how are you speaking to females like this?
Sometimes when it comes to game, I'm from a place where I could tell by, not all the time, because there's always an exception to the rule. I can tell by how you dress if you got game or not.
Yeah.
Like the way people arrange certain outfits is like you don't know how to talk to women. Like the way homie dressed, like the way Drake, you can just tell like it's just he has money and clout. Like
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
because you shouldn't. To me, if I got money, I'm not dealing with a fellow rapper's ex-baby moms. I got the world. I probably wouldn't even live in America. I'll probably live somewhere where my money go like mad far. Like I don't get it. That was my brother right there, man. Shout out to him. Excuse me.
All good, my bro. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, it's like you got the world at your hands. You know what I'm saying? You could get a woman from any place in the world. Like, why would you submit yourself to the social pathology of a ratchet rapper's exes?
Yeah.
I just...
It's because they're weak men. It's like a lot of these athletes. I see a lot of athletes like NBA stars going and like getting like a porn star or like an OF girl pregnant and stuff. And it's like, it's because they don't really understand, one, female nature, and they've been manipulated by society, you know, to like... Drake was one of the biggest reasons I think men become feminine.
I think dudes are... These guys really never got women till they got money, man.
No,
that's what I think.
Yeah.
Because they're too pressed. It's like, okay, what you want? I'll get you. I'll pay you. Come here. I just want to touch you. It's like, you don't always get baddies. The sweet spots is like a good 6 or 7 if you want to be real about it. But if you've been outside, you've got some bad chicks. So it's not like you've never had them. You know what I'm saying? You don't get them all the time, but every once in a while you get you a 9 or 10 for a good little minute, or you might get one for the long haul, but you meet them, you come across them. You know what I'm saying? If you never had them and you get money, you just do what you want. It's like you never had some Jordans before, so you just go crazy. You just buy every damn Jordan. It's like you have to get women prior to your success to really know how to deal with them post-success.
That's why I say the religious way is not going to work. The
Absolutely,
virgin beats virgin. But yeah. What about yourself? Yeah. What's your type of woman if you had to break it down, bro? Like trait-wise.
Feminine, smart, modest. You know what I'm saying? Affectionate. Loyal, understanding. You know what I'm saying? And expresses reciprocity.
Yeah. All right. And I know this question's asked a lot in our space. What makes a high value man?
A man that values himself. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, your income can't be what make you a high value man. Now, it can make you a highly sought man. Like, I think we put everything under that high value man topic. It's like you got a high earning man, and then you got a high value man, and then you got a high sought after man. And all of those things can be, one man can be all 3 of those, or 2, or 1, but they're not necessarily synonymous. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of high earning men that will lose their girl, maybe for a season, may not be forever. But I feel like if a man could touch your girl, that ain't your girl. So if you're a billionaire and a dude who make $100,000 had her for 2 days, that's still a W and a loss for you. Because if you getting that type of money, you that big, nobody should be able to touch your girl, let alone somebody that's not in your bracket. So I feel like a high value man is someone that values himself and values value. You know what I mean? What's true value? Knowledge is value. Good family is value. And now I don't just mean people that you're related to, but just good people. Like when you understand the value of valuable things, you're a high value man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of dudes who make a lot of bread that's dumb as a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of them. You can tell by how they talk on their shows. Like it's like, bro, you got a lot. They think they just get some shades and a chain, and it's just that's
it, high value men.
A lot of these dudes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these dudes is really like, they know how to get laid. They know how to put out an energy that get them a lot of sex, and that's dope too. But that's not necessarily a high value man.
Would you say someone like Bill Gates or like Jeff Bezos, would you say that's a high value man? It's a tricky one, right?
Economically, yeah. Financially, business-wise, yeah, he's a high-value man.
Yeah.
But is he a high-value man till he's likable, where people, want to be around a person, where he has, I don't know their conversation. I don't know how they're valued in a social setting. I know that they're definitely valued as far as they can change your life financially. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Okay, so you gave us a good answer on the women as well. So what do you think of age gaps as well? Like, you're 39, I'm 34. What do you think is the youngest we should date? Or do you think there should be, obviously over 18, but what do you think about age gap relationships? It gets brought up a lot into dating.
I'm cool with them. It just, I wouldn't do, I think it depends on what age you're talking about. Yeah. Like, you think 40 and 21, you think that's cool?
40 and 21? Like, you're only a year, yeah, I think that's cool.
I don't think it's bad either. I just think that, me personally, I don't know if I want to deal with, I like to pick my battles. Yeah. And it's like dealing with a 21-year-old, in my eyes, is not bad, but we live in a country that is so taboo. Certain battles, certain conversations I don't want to have for the sake of just saying it's cool. It is, because it is cool, but it ain't in this country, and dealing with her parents and all. It's like, it's just a lot of shit I think you have to deal with, like a little growing pain cycle. I don't know.
You know what? He says so many things similar to me, because even with my cousin Andy, that's the kind of thing that I bring up. Like, if you are a 40-year-old man and you do meet a 21-year-old woman, like, imagine like the process of meeting her parents and that. Like, if I was her dad, I wouldn't be happy about it. So yeah, and
so I don't want to be around that energy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's awkward.
At the same time, I'm like, bro, say we're in the same kind of age range. Like, I feel like a 26-year-old's already long gone. Like,
so you think you wouldn't do 40, 26?
Bro, I think a 26-year-old in America, Western civilization is finished. And I think you know this as well, because how many girls have you seen on these shows over and over again? And like, even young women are fucked, a lot of them. But 26, I think by 26, you've already been through too many bad experiences, breakups, promiscuous activities, trips, etc. Especially if you're a good-looking girl. And don't get me wrong, I do say the same thing you say. I tell everyone who listens to me, you're better off going and getting a 7 out of 10 or even a 6 out of 10 than a 9 and a 10. Why? Because they're going to have a lot more better traits and not the ego of the princess attitude of just receive and no replication. So
what age you think is good for an older man? In his late 30s.
Honestly,
40s.
like, I say anything under 21, I don't feel comfortable. I feel like a creep. Even at 21, it's a bit uncomfortable for me. But at the same point, I'm like, I understand. I had girls on the podcast who were like 24, 25, and I'm like, they're finished already. They've already been through too many experiences. They've already been fucked. So I think over 23 is too late.
There was a little chick on the show the other night. She 23. She said she got 12 bodies. But she said half of them was girls. But still,
do we believe her as well?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying? I would say, like, if a girl says like 12 bodies, including girls, she's more than likely at least 25, 30. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and like, look, even 12. Are we gonna sit here and act like, are we happy with 12? Like, I don't know, man.
At 23? Like, when did you start?
Exactly. Like,
at 12, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, it's crazy.
I know, man. And they don't get it, because women look at a man's future. They always look at us as like, what do we bring to the table? Can we teach them things? Are we going to give them memorable memories and all of this? But for us, it's just like, are you going to embarrass us? Like, can we make you a wife? Can we make you a mother? Like, have you got potential? And, if you've had 12 bodies at 23 years old, I think it's cooked, man.
I think in America, I just assume a woman had bodies. It's like, me personally, like, I get asked that question a lot about the body count question. I never asked a girl that.
No, you can't. You can't.
Because it's like, I'm assuming you've been around.
Yeah.
My thing is, how have you bounced back from that? That's all going to show how you deal with me, because I feel like the most important, I won't say the most important, because body count is important, but I'll be concerned about what type of guys you was with before me. Because the type of dudes you was with, to me, tells me your expectations of what me and what misunderstandings of manhood you might have. Because you could be with a dude who is super duper over the top, extra duper hyper masculine, or with some, passive dude, and those dudes will give you a wrong perception of what a man is, and you expect me to be this and me be that. You might play with me, you try me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the type of men you've been with. Like if I know a girl who, okay, my ex, he was in the Army, I already know what type of energy he was kicking. As opposed to a chick who be like, yo, my ex, he was Crip, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He actually doing 10 right now.
Yeah.
That's a whole different relationship, and that's a whole different, how you look at conflict gonna be different, how you look at masculinity gonna be different, how you perceive all that's gonna be different because you dealt with somebody who's probably more reactionary as opposed to conscientious. So you might confuse that consciousness for weakness. Now I gotta check you. So all that, I'm thinking about that shit.
Great point, man. He just dropped you guys a gem, and I never mentioned that one before. Always look at the kind of men she has dated, not just the amount of number. The number you're never gonna find out.
Never
like
find
he
out.
said, like me, I say the reason to never ask is because 1, they don't like it. So what's the point of even getting there? 2, she's not gonna tell you the truth. And 3, you can kind of pick up on traits, I think, a lot of times, right? If she's a hoe or not. You're going to be able to see through, 1, her social media, little things like her phone, the way she's like.
Because let me ask you this. Say if you got a chance to, say if you got 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
One girl, you see all the dudes she had sex with, and they all was dudes that was like a 40-year-old virgin type.
Yeah.
And then you see another girl you see who she had sex with, and it's a bunch of like goons.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna feel? You gonna see the dude, that girl who you gonna like, yeah, you got bodies, but man, come here. So it's real nuance to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not as cut, because if we want to keep it cut and dry, then we all just fuck. And I don't believe that. I think that we got some setbacks, but if we're gonna overcome it, we gotta admit where we're at. We can't talk about, oh, the food is fucked up, the educational system's fucked up, the parenting's fucked up. Yeah, it is. So guess what it produced? Fucked up people. So you think you're gonna go straight to this perfection way of life overnight? No, we're gonna deal with things accordingly and take baby steps, man.
Yeah.
Brick by brick.
And what do you think? Well, we're not going to go too deep into it, but would you say feminism is definitely one of the reasons things are?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I think feminism, well, as far as black community, I think got the 4 horsemen. I think these are the things that influence women a lot. Might be 5. The gay male. This is the people that's a part of their consciousness influence. The gay male, the pastor, mainstream society, and they friends, and like the sisterhood. Like those are the parameters of most women's thinking. Is those 4 concepts. So it's like there's no room for a masculine man nowhere in that.
Yeah.
So when they deal with us, it be from an aspect. And you throw feminism is a cocktail of all of those 4 things, because most of them are Christian. Like they all deal with those aspects. So I think feminism is a huge part, but I don't think there's nothing feminine about it. Yeah. It's just downplaying men so they can be men. See, that's the thing. They real slick. Like, to me, feminism should be women standing up for being accepted and respected as feminine women.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm soft. Don't expect me to get mad. Don't expect me to raise my voice. Deal with me for how I am. I'm soft and soft-spoken. And I should be respected as such, even though you're a tough, strong man. That's feminism.
Feminine, yeah.
The shit that they're talking about is men are beasts, men are monsters, you don't need them. They need to be docile so we can be them.
Yeah.
It's like they hate that we're men. Like they hate that fact that we have male physical advantages, but the spirit of manhood is what they are envy.
Yeah.
They want to be men. They just mad that you have the body for it, but the concept of a man, they don't hate that. They hate that you can do it and they can't. Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. That shit ain't nothing feminine about it.
The craziest thing is that they hate masculine men, but they're the most attracted to masculine men. Let's be honest. Which is crazy. Like, even I've seen like even clips, like TikTok clips of like even like white chicks like saying like super liberal chicks, and they're like, I can't date no more because every man I'm dating is just super liberal. Like, where's the masculine liberal guys? And it's like, it doesn't really exist because, masculine men tend to sway more to logic rather than feelings, right? So,
yeah, but sometimes, because people get so caught up in the word liberal is not a bad word.
Yeah.
We can all be liberal, but they just associate liberal with a specific train of thought, but it doesn't really mean that.
Liberal,
I mean,
they're the furthest from liberals.
That's
actually.
what I'm saying. Because there's some concepts that I would say on the show, and cats, I look at the comments, they think I'm taking a liberal or soft approach. It's like, nah, you just don't understand the higher concept. Because it's like, for example, they was talking about expressing your feelings in front of women and how they can use that against you. So the girls were saying, oh no, we like it when a man is comfortable expressing himself. Andrew was like, no, you want to use that as data to hurt him. And I seen both sides.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to explain to them is like, when women, not all women, but when some women say that, it's not them talking about they want to see you act like a girl in front of them so they can say, oh, it's the inhibition of you saying, I don't give a fuck. I feel this way. I'm mad. I'm going to cry. It's not about tapping into your feminine side. It's you're so confident and sure of yourself that you don't mind showing that vulnerability in that moment. And still, that's what they like. And and a lot of men, when they hear that, they just deal with women they let these women scare them into looking at them as they're bigger than they are. Like they just girls, bro. Like they got their ways, but they just women, bro. Like you shouldn't. If you're able to, if I'm feeling some type of way, like I remember one time I was going through with my daughter and my mother, my man picked me up and I was crying in the car. I didn't feel no weird way.
Yeah.
I've been on the phone with, I had been around females and something happened. I was just mad and I cried and I was mad. I don't feel weird. If that person feels weird or tries to use that against me later, that don't say nothing about me. That say something about them.
Yeah. What I would say to that is I don't even agree with Andrew's point. That the reason that I would say not to be vulnerable in front of your woman is nothing to do with what Andrew said. I think if you're with a woman who's going to use it later against you, you're with the wrong woman anyway, right?
So should you change what you've done or change who you're with?
Who you're with.
Exactly.
The reason that I wouldn't do it is because I know, just like we have a natural, it gives us an uncomfortable feeling when we hear like a woman being promiscuous before us if we're dating her. I know women, when they see a man cry, because they expect us to be their leader and push forward, they kind of see us as like a Superman. If they see us in a vulnerable spot, I think they can lose desire, and not love, but like attraction to the man just naturally without wanting to. So that's the only reason I say for us not to cry. But I don't say never. If someone dies around you and something deep is going on, like I'm going to expect you to cry in front of your woman. Like, you're going to show some sort of emotion. But if you're going through a situation in work where you're really stressed, I think it's best not to take the approach.
Work. But
best to do it with your boys, I think.
Interpersonal relationships, that's different. But at the end of the day, to me, a real man ultimately goes by his own philosophy. You got to deal with, because certain stuff I would do, another dude wouldn't do. But I don't care, because that's me. So it's like I have to test women and I have to put women in situations that meet to the metric that I want her to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like it may not work for the next dude. So it's like some women gonna fuck with what you are and some women not. And it's just about understanding that you're not gonna get everybody. You gotta get who's for you. And some men don't understand that. They want every girl, it's like, hey, you can get that, or you can get what's for you.
Yeah. No, there's generalizations within dating, but there's so many little aspects that are personalized to each person as well. So
exactly.
Even like for my example, myself, which I don't want to get deep into, but the hardest part for dating for me is I won't date a girl who's had the jab, for example, right?
I don't like that either because I didn't get it.
Yeah, me neither. And I wouldn't date a girl I wouldn't even smash a girl who's had it, because at this point in my life I don't really date just to smash. It's just long. It's been there, done that. So for me, I wouldn't even talk to a girl who's been jabbed. So already that takes like 90% of people out of the equation. You probably understand that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But and that's very personalized to myself.
We still don't know what the effects of that thing is yet, for real.
No, but there has been a lot of things happening to athletes who taken it. Like I know I can give you a statistic from 1980 to 2020. There was roughly like 1,500 cardiac arrests that died in real sports, and then from 2020 to 2023, which was only 3 years, there was 1,800 cardiac arrest deaths across all sports. So we know it did something, right?
That's what I'm saying. We still don't know the long-term effects of that thing.
But I'm also a big believer of God, and I do think he probably tried to protect as many people as he did. And I hear a lot of doctors out there were injecting water and stuff, trying to, even in London, they were giving out passes to people. So there was doctors going against the grain. So, which I actually had one on here. I had a lady called Dr. Kroner on here, and she was talking about how during that whole 2020 situation, she was majorly being cancelled because, as her being a doctor, she was going against it herself, saying it came out too quick, etc. But yeah, we'll go into that a little later. What do you think about single mom? Do you have children yourself?
I have a daughter. Yeah,
you have a daughter. So this is an interesting one. And are you dating anyone, or are you single?
I'm getting to know someone.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think about dating single moms then?
I mean, it's not really a deal breaker to me because it's like it happens.
Yeah.
I just try to be in reality. You know what I mean? I would like a woman with no kids? Of course. Mm-hmm. But am I gonna say you got one child, you can't talk to me? Nah, probably not. If she look good and she's cool, I'm gonna see what's up. I'm not gonna I don't have a problem with children. Yeah. It's how you and his father get along is the issue. Kids is kids. I think people just need to grow up with certain stuff. Now, I'm not saying to lower your bar. If your standard is a woman with kids, you got the right, especially you don't have none. Yeah. But I have a daughter. Yeah. So if I met a woman with a child, it's all right, I got one, you got one. Yeah. We even. Now, if you got more than me, it's you got two, it's we'll see. Yeah. You got three, no.
Two from two different fathers, again.
Crazy work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Crazy work. I can't do that. You feel me? It's we can have fun, but it's long term, it's cause I'm always be once I start seeing you get multiple baby fathers, it's yo, what was you really doing? Yeah. It's how did that happen?
Poor judgment.
3 times.
Once, two, how many times you got?
And none of them stayed. None of you're not with none. It's just weird. But one child, it's one. I don't see a problem if I got one. I feel whatever you had, you should be able to accept from her. If you got 3 kids, I want a chick with no kids. You can want that. But if she got 3 and you got 3, shit, the Brady Bunch.
I agree with that anyway, and it's happening right now. I don't know, you know who Cooley is from No Fugazi. He's getting a lot of shit right now. That's because he comes out and obviously he says not to date single moms, but then he's dating one. But he did explain to his people at the beginning, I don't know how much he did explain, but I think he said
dudes be making the wrong arguments and they gotta die on these goofy ass swords. Yeah. It's not about picking a woman with kids or none of this. It's about picking a woman who fuck with you. Yeah. That's what dudes are not doing. They're not picking women that fuck with them. I've seen women that'll fuck with you with 2 kids and she will fuck with you and really make you a priority and do for you with 2 kids. And I know women who got no kids who'll make you a priority. Yeah. If a woman fuck with you, she's going to make things happen to make sure her presence is felt in your life outside of just her physical nature. That's, if you're really dealing with women for real, that's the truth. Whether you want to say it or not for your subscribers, and whether you want to, that's another thing.
It's true.
But it's the truth.
What you just said just now, I actually say it on Girls Night, which it kind of falls into the same kind of thing what you're saying. Me, I wouldn't date a single mom, right? Why? Because I don't have children. But what I do tell people, men, even if you don't have children and you want to date a single mom, I just tell the girls that are on the show, if you are a single mom, you're just going to have to bring more value to that relationship than the average girl would. Like you said just now, if she fucks with you heavy, she's making your food.
You're not going to say, oh, she got a kid, I ain't messing with her.
That's my point. So I tell women, if you do everything correct, you're going to give yourself the best shot regardless. And men who do have children, they are more prone to date a woman who does have children. So yeah, it's the right point. But I do tell men, look, you do have to understand what comes with dating a woman with children. If she does decide to come out of the relationship and end it, then you do lose the children as well. You have to understand that going into the relationship as well, right? Because you do build a bond with children. Say, for example, you date a single mom. Say, for example, me, I dated a single mom, right? I don't have children, and then I built a crazy bond for the child, 5 years, and then she decides not want to be with me. That's fair enough, right? We're adults, but then I lose the child as well. It's a.
I don't know. I don't. The bond I have is if I had a woman that, unless we was getting married, I'm not really trying to be that close to the child. It's I deal with them accordingly. They don't I'll give them some game, tell them some real shit, but it's I'm there for the woman and he got a father. Yeah. So it's I have to be called on for stuff like that.
But if he doesn't though?
Now, if he doesn't, it'd be easier because he don't.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's not really an issue. But if he
that's
don't,
when you have to step up more, right? That's the only issue.
Yeah, it all depends on the situation. But I think when the father's not around, it kind of make it easier
I agree.
while you're with her. Because you don't have to really deal with no other energy. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with him. Like, and I say that like a lot of times, if the single mom doesn't have the father in their life, a lot of women think that's a bad thing for the man, but it's actually a better thing because we don't have to deal with the other man. But we do have to step up in another way. Yeah,
because the problem is these guys, they be pushing the wrong message. Being a stepdad is not a bad thing. Being a stepdad to women who are ungrateful and children who don't respect you is a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you can't separate the two. Because some kids, me personally, I'm not trying to be a stepdad. That ain't the top of my list. I've done it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But at worst, what the fuck is wrong with you making an impact on a little boy who ain't got nobody to fucking talk to but you, and he grow up and be something crazy and you influence him? What the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah.
You go to a teacher, they with you 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it's like I think people just piece of shit people, and they be in their analysis. I see what they're trying to say, but there's a better way of saying it. It's like it's not about the scenario. It's about you being valued and people respecting your effort in that scenario.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. If you was a young boy and your father wasn't around or he didn't care about you, would you be clowning your mother or the dude that she met that really fucked with you? You'll think he that dude. You'll be like, you'll look up to him. You'll be like, yo, he really looked out for me. So how can those same dudes be lame at the same time? True. No, you're lame because you with a woman who takes you for granted, not because you're willing to say, hey, I don't have a child, but I love your mother. And as long as you respect me, if you need some advice, I got you. What the fuck is wrong with that?
Well, even half the comment section of these people who have an opinion, they're like, most of them are like incels. And
they weird as fuck.
We already know anyway, come on, man. But I agree with a lot of your points. So we touched on age gaps. I do think with age gaps, going back to it, I do think there's a point where it's too much. Yeah, like obviously, like if there's like, you know, a 50, 60-year-old man dating an 80-year-old
I think once you touch a certain income bracket, it's like, what the fuck you gonna tell them? They can do what they kind of want to do, because it's like, women can say what they want to say, but if a man is 58 years old or 49 and he's a billionaire, is he really a threat to a young woman?
Yeah.
Like, if he's not, of course,
a
piece of shit, he's a billionaire. Whatever she wants, whatever her dream, he can fulfill that. So when a man gets to a place where he can fulfill anybody's heart's desire, he can really have whoever he wants. I wouldn't say a little girl, like a baby, but I'm saying once a woman becomes a woman legally, how can you tell that man he's bad for that woman when he can facilitate anything to give her safety and peace? Like, how can you tell him? It's just weird.
I agree. So Illa, thank you, man, for coming on. Grateful. Definitely looking forward to having you on in 2025. Guys, he's going to come on Girls Night, hopefully. Not hopefully, we're going to make it happen in 2025. We'll see your schedule after this and we'll lock in a date. And before you go, I do want to give you a 2-answer questionnaire. So I'm going to ask you 2 answers. I'm going to give you 2 answers. Pick one out of the 2. All right? So the first one, Dipset or D-Block?
D-Block, mighty D-Block.
That's it, man. D-Block was definitely one of my favorite groups.
Jada's my guy.
Yeah, I love Dipset as well, but D-Block was the one.
I appreciate Dipset more now later because, you know, the music got so crazy out here that I even appreciate more Dipset, because back then I didn't like them that much, but as I got older, it's like, okay, nah. I like Cam. Like I was messing with Cam a little bit, but I started appreciating him more as I got older. It's like, all right, their music got better with time. You know what I'm saying? But Jada is just like, crazy.
I agree, man. So Tupac or Biggie?
Like I said, man, like both of them, man. It's like, you know, I love both of them. I think Biggie was the better rapper. I think Tupac was the better artist, but I think Tupac was still, Biggie was more, he wasn't that seasoned. Like, he did all that off of just Ready to Die and Life After Death. Like, Life After Death was crazy. And it's like, and then he died. Like, Pac had like All Eyes on Me, Strictly for My Niggas, Tupac Now, Machiavelli, You know what I'm saying? Me Against the World. It's like Big, Ready to Die, Life After Death, and that's it.
Yeah.
And people still got him in the greatest conversation from 2 albums.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and Life After Death was crazy. So I can't pick. I can't pick one.
I agree with what you said. I think Biggie's a better rapper, and I think Tupac's like more, complete, as in like outside of just rap as well, what he stood for as a person. All right, cool. So no picks there. Well, how do you think Lil Wayne compares to those two?
I don't think he does. Personally,
Okay.
I think like he can rap. Like he's shown the ability to put like words together. I think you can, if you want, you can compare him to a Big. But I still think he falls short there too. But I think you can compare him to Big as far as just a style of just basically a braggadocious rap. But even Big has some moments. But I'm gonna say this to be fair. I only listened to Lil Wayne after Carter 2. That's when I became a fan. Like Carter 2 was like, okay, that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's
was hard.
Everything prior to that, I wasn't really crazy about. You know what I'm saying? But Carter 2 is like that whole time between Carter 2 and Carter 3, like that's the Wayne I like personally. Like to me, he was like at his best at Carter 2. Like she showed some introspection on that album. That's that song like the song with the song Shooter. There's certain lines he just showed a little more range in his lyrics, and it was just a very complete project. I thought that was, to me, his only classic album, in my personal opinion. I thought that was a classic. But after that, it was just like he was killing shit rapping, but he don't really have no body of work to me outside of Carter 2.
Yeah, I think that little period there, that 3-4 year period, like Wayne was he was taking over that period there.
Yeah.
What was that? Like 2004?
No, that was
2003?
This was like 20.
Later.
Yeah, 20. Carter 2 came out 2005, so it was like 05 to like 2010, 12.
Yeah, that's when he was like.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I'm saying, but musically, I thought between Carter 2 and Carter 3 is when he was the best musically to me, when the music and the lyrics came together like crazy. But
50 Cent or Lil Wayne?
50,
yeah. All right, cool. If you had to pick one, music or Red Pill? If you had to go down one path.
Music.
Nike or Adidas?
Say that again?
Nike or Adidas? Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Yeah. Private jet or private yacht? If you had to own one, which one would you take?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll go the jet.
Jet.
Yeah.
House on the hills or on the beach? Beach. $1 million or the perfect wife?
$1 million, man.
$10 million and a girl with a 3 body count or a virgin?
I'm always take the money, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the money.
Andrew Tate, top G or bottom G?
Top G.
I like him too. All right, cool. Women should or should not vote?
Yeah, they should vote if they know if they have the right information. Yes, they should vote like anybody else. Anybody that's informed on the matter should be able to vote. Anybody who's not informed on the matter, regardless of gender, should not be able to vote. If you're basing it based on popularity and not informed enough, even though there's no way we can.
Then women shouldn't vote then, because they're never informed. Sorry, man.
A lot of time.
Look, if women,
it is a very low percentage.
You do know if women voted and men didn't vote this time, we would have Kamala still in.
Yeah, they definitely be picking for some goofy reason. It's definitely a fact, you know. And a lot of men be following that too, because surprisingly, only 20% of black men voted for Trump.
I was surprised with that. You know
I wasn't. Most black men. But my thing is this. Why don't they talk to them dudes? It's like, y'all, I hear a lot of women talking about this 20% that voted for Trump. Why don't you applaud the 80% that supported your cause? Why don't you parade them and show them love? Because it ain't about love, ain't about respecting a gesture. It's about power. Yeah. Because if it was really about the cause, you will focus on the ones
gratitude to those
and work
men.
with the dudes who. But they want the men that don't want them, the men that go against them. They want to argue with them because you want those guys. That 20% men, y'all want that 20% because that's the ones that really ain't going for that bullshit that you really probably attracted to.
It's true, 100%. When it comes to women, Black women or Latinas?
I'm gonna say black women because I haven't been with that many Latinas. Now, from the outside looking in, do they look like they have characteristics that our sisters may not have? Yup. But I haven't been with one. Yeah. So just based on who I've been with, better for worse, I'm gonna pick them because every experience wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? But could that opinion change if I get with a Latina? Absolutely. Yeah. But I've just dealt with black women most.
Fair enough. White women or Asian women?
It's another group I really ain't mess with like that.
What's that, both or?
You said Asian or white?
Yeah.
This is different. I'm gonna go Asian.
Asian, okay. I like Asian women. So now, black vs Asian, the winners. You're gonna keep it safe and just go Blasian.
I'm gonna definitely go Blasian. Yeah. Because to be honest, that's really what you want. Like for real. You do want the black to be mixed with something. Like it's the perfect main ingredient to make some. And I think that's.
You were saying that you was talking about the Blasians the other day as well. Yeah.
That's the craziest combination on the planet. Like there's nothing crazy.
No, I agree.
Because you got those exaggerated eyes.
Best of both.
You mix that with the black. Like I'm gonna go with the Blasian blend.
OF girl with a low body count or a single mum?
Say that again.
An OF chick, date an OF chick for serious with a low body count or a single mum?
What is she doing on OnlyFans? Because some of them be up there just baking cookies and shit with some bra.
She ain't baking cookies, but she's not doing boy-girl content. She's doing like solo content. Everyone's seen her naked.
Everybody see her naked. They ain't see her get thrashed though. Oh man, this is crazy. You got me in the damn, bro. Or a single mother.
Yeah.
Yo, you come up with these questions, bro?
I did them last night while watching you.
Oh my God, bro. She look good, like she.
They're both good looking, yeah.
They both good looking.
Yeah. One single mom, she's been around the block. She's not a hoe, but she's had a past. But she's a single mom. And then the OF girl, she's got a really low body count, maybe 3 body count, but she's an OF chick. She does it for money.
And we just talking about dating them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro!
So we won't clip you saying you chose the OF girl.
No, it's just crazy, bro. Cause
I know it is. You do have to think about it. It's not an easy one. That one.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna go OnlyFans, man.
Yeah, I'll probably do the OnlyFans as well. I don't know, man.
I mean, because
the OnlyFans chick is one step closer to that. Making a mistake she's gonna regret for the rest of her life, really. She's already in that.
But the single mom already made one as well.
That's different. It's just dating. I think no. You know what? I think it's a single mom, bro. Okay, because the OnlyFans, he's right. Because that's why I don't like strippers. Because to me, if you could show your body, if you want to show your body for money, you're not going to tell me that you're not going to fuck somebody for $30,000. You're not going to look at me and tell me that you're not going to do that. Yeah. Yes, you are. You're going to do that. And if somebody who got money, they ain't really no money.
Yeah.
So,
but if you do have money, she ain't going nowhere.
She shouldn't go anywhere. Yeah. It's not a guarantee.
What the fuck? Sounds like a Formula One race is going on outside. What the fuck is going on? All right. Moon landing, was it true or false?
I think it was false.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Before we go on to, because we're gonna transition now. Not the LGB kind of, but we're gonna go to Rumble because we can't talk this shit on YouTube. So before we go on to Rumble, I just want to say thank you again for coming on the show.
Appreciate you.
One last question as well, because I've got a feeling you are, but I want to know before we go on Rumble, because this is kind of safe on Rumble, but what we're gonna be talking about is not. Are you a flat earther?
No,
Okay.
but I do believe that there's more to this planet than meets the eye of what we've told. I think this planet is bigger, and its telling of it is questionable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was because what I thought the flat, I'm not gonna say it's a flat earther. What I will say is I see how they can feel that way as far as like questioning how things lay out. Like it's not. I think what they're confusing as flatness is you're realizing that this thing is bigger than you realize. More than that, I don't think the Earth is flat. I think it's bigger than we realize, and I think there's more beyond the ice. I think there's something beyond that. Me personally,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I can call me crazy, but I was familiar with the hollow Earth theory. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with that, and I think the flat Earth conversation kind of came and washed that away. But are you familiar with the hollow Earth theory?
Isn't it a similar theory to the flat Earth one, or not really?
No.
Tell us more about it.
The hollow Earth is about the inside the planet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, and that there's like more room inside the planet.
On the inside.
On the inside.
Yeah.
And this is taking place at the north and southern poles. And there's a lot of information on this area, and it's funny because there was a man named Admiral Richard Byrd. Like he was really a naval officer in the early 19
Operation
High Jump.
Operation High Jump. Yeah, I've
there's
studied
something
this.
you know what I'm saying? So I would.
Yeah.
So when I came familiar with, you know, the concept of just more to the planet is from that train of thought, and it made sense. It's not something that I could think that's unfathomable. You know what I'm saying? It was just interesting. And then when they started explaining things, I started thinking of places like the Bermuda Triangle, how you can't go but so far in these caves according to the law. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can fly over the North and South Pole. Like, and it's funny, right? When I found out this information, King Kong was out at the time. This is the early 2000s when I learned about the hollow Earth theory. There was the first, not the original King Kong, but the first of the modern King Kongs was in the early 2000s with Jack. I think his name was Jack Black, the guy that was in it. You do remember the King?
Okay.
The first one. Now, boom, based on my understanding of the hollow Earth theory, I noticed because the thing you start reading stuff, you start to recognize what history, what time period they're conveying based on garb, regardless of, it's just certain context clues that you can see when you study things.
Yeah.
Because even in fictional things, like Game of Thrones, my favorite show, it's a fictional story. But certain things they did in the show outside of the supernatural was really medieval cultured things. Like it really was, that shit used to really do shit like that. Like the filleting and all. It got wild over there. Like people don't know how crazy the medieval time, that Dark Ages was really, really fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like so, but that's neither here nor there. So boom, in the King Kong movie, they go up to where it's nothing but ice. And then all of a sudden it turned into something more green and plush, and that's when they found King Kong.
The asshole.
So I'm like, to me that reminded me of, I said, this they alluding to some hollow Earth shit. I said that then. Fast forward to the new King Kong movies, they literally went to the hollow Earth in the King Kong, and that was his home. So what I'm saying is, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think that it's more to this planet than we know, whether it's inside, whether it's just more expanded. It's something, I don't think something is coming from somewhere. I think there is life on other planets, but I think there's other life on here that's on this planet. But I think the planet is way bigger than we think it is.
I'm a flat earther, and I do believe there's more land beyond the ice walls. Pretty much a bit like this, but with a dome covering all of us.
I can't substantially say you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
At least you've got an open mind to it. Within me, I actually do turn around and say, even though I'm a flat earther, I can't give you 110% proof. The only proof that you'll have is if you see it for your own eyes. But what
I'm looking at it like this, right?
Yeah.
You looking at it like like it's flat. I'm looking at it like it's bigger, so that ice is still rounding out. This is just the part that we're looking at, so it seems flat. No, it's just bigger than you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
but even with the